used to hear something on the news and you'd be able to believe it. Now you hear something on the news and you automatically assume that it's bullshit just because it's on the news.
What should we do?
Unc will help us.
Welcome back to the Unc podcast. I'm Unc, this is Cam, and we have a good one for you this week. The media, people. The media. Leave it in the comments what your thoughts are on the media. Cam, what do you think about the media?
Well, I think we're still under a psychological warfare by the CIA that's being conducted since the 70s and 80s, or even probably before that, the 60s and 50s. You know what I'm saying? Operation Mockingbird. That's just one element of the transgression of what's been going on lately, and the hypocrisy of the news media, mainstream, the dinosaur media. The hypocrisy is amazing. But it's something that we knew about from when we seen the Russian collusion, Hillary Clinton, where nobody was talking about indicting Hillary, but yet we know she did crimes because she erased emails. You know, we got Jim Comey, you know what I'm saying? We got John Brennan. I mean, there's a few people that nefarious actors.
Back to the Hillary real quick. I just want to add this. The craziest part about what you specifically mentioned, there's so much surrounding the Clintons, but the one piece that you just mentioned, the Russian collusion, she went harping about Russia collusion, investigate Trump, Russia collusion. And then it turns out the Steele dossier that she was paying the Russians to pretend that he was doing shit. Like, come on, man. Like, how much more collusion can it get?
Mm-hmm. How about Uranium One? What happened to that? Everybody forgets about that, huh? What about Uranium One? That's a major thing that people forget about.
That
people
did
don't
just
even
like go away out of nowhere. It was big news, and then it went away.
So now you're telling me that it's okay to sell uranium to the Russians? I wouldn't doubt the same uranium that the Iranians have right now.
Wow. Didn't think about that, but wow.
See, I think about all these things because people want to talk about, it's only the Jews, it's Israelists and Israel that, but there's other elements involved as well. Yes, Israel has something to gain by this excursion happening and this little war going on. But
excursion.
Yeah, well, it's a military term. It's a military term. It's excursion. Trump said it like he went on a vacation. Like, yeah, we took a little excursion. You know, this is exact word. We were doing what we were doing. We were doing what we were doing, and we took a little excursion.
Excursion
you know,
merch
like
coming
we were
soon,
doing
people. Excursion merch coming soon, people.
But you know what I'm saying? Israel is not the only player that's, and not even the major factor player. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's so much more and so much other people that benefit off of this, that for these people to have this idea that the only thing that's going on is just Israel and Trump, and this is the only way that you could look at this in that manner, that's just fraudulent. There's too much other things happening right now.
And I think China's just sitting back, building their infrastructure, investing in their country, and watching us piss away all our money to fight people that don't need to be fought.
Well, what describe don't need to be fought, and describe pissing away our money.
I mean, any kind of military actions, and it costs money. The bombs cost money, the fuel costs money, and it's just a lot of money because we get overcharged for it. So we're over here fighting with Iran, fighting with Venezuela, and China's over here watching us spend our money to fight with these people while they're getting ready to strike when the iron's hot.
Well, we never really necessarily fought Venezuela, but okay. But
you know what I mean, though. We spent money to drop some bombs over there.
I mean, it was one operation, literally one military operation.
So I mean, as long as it just stays right there, as long as that's as far as it goes, and this doesn't turn into a pattern, then it's not going to be a big deal. I'm seeing a pattern forming. That's where I was trying to go with that.
Okay, so you feel as though in Venezuela, as an example because you put the Venezuela into this example. That's why I'm mentioning it.
Yeah, because Venezuela and Iran, and if it doesn't stop there, and this continues to be a thing, then it's gonna be like one invasion after the other,
Okay,
and like
so
I
now
said,
let me speak for like 2 seconds, right? Before you cut me off as soon as I say one sentence. Yeah, because that's what you do. So now to get
I
the
know this
proper point, an
period.
intelligent point, you know what I'm saying? An intelligent point of perspective in, right? Let's get it to this level, right? When you say that we're just fighting war after war after war, when one thing that you're talking about or one topic you're talking about was literally a 1 day thing, right? And then now you have Iran, which is something that's been going on for 40 something years. They bombed 2 different boats. They bombed the whole barracks. They've been shooting missiles at us for years. And you're saying like it's another war. No, this is something that's been going on. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but they have a point that it's been going on. And Venezuela was literally 1 day, a few hour of an event. And then we are now in control of their most important natural
Yeah, but either way,
resources.
that doesn't change nothing about what I was saying,
So
though. That doesn't really have anything to do with what I was saying.
still can't finish. It's not about what you're trying to point, what your point was being made, what you thought you were saying. It's about the actual words you said. You mentioned Venezuela, so I'm addressing Venezuela. Now I'm also going to address the rest of it.
Nah, it's not
It's,
about what I actually said.
you
It's
said,
about what you want to make out of what I said. It's the way you the way you take the words and rearrange them. That's what it becomes about. It's never about what I
so,
said or what I meant. It's about
okay,
what you
how that
can
you rank
how you can
for-
deconstruct my words and change them into something else that's irrelevant to the topic and has nothing to do with the point that I was making. But all right,
okay, what is the topic then? Is the topic not
topic is
mid
that China
war? I can't
China
finish.
is a threat. And right now, they're just chilling. They're not coming at us on no bullshit. They're just waiting and watching and getting their money up. That's the point. We're
Okay,
worried
so
about
now
everything
when
else.
you mention, so when you but you mention things, you can't say things and then not have the address and be like, oh, you can't talk about that no more. No, you said Venezuela, so I addressed
Yeah,
Venezuela.
exactly,
Now,
exactly. And that's the thing. That's the thing. You'll pick one word out of it instead of taking the whole everything and and just listening to what was said. You just wait for a word to jump on. So as soon as you heard Venezuela, everything else didn't register to you because you
I
found
was
you
I
you
was
found your
done
opportunity to start complaining
yet.
about something.
Done my statement to even elaborate what I was saying. But because you're such a short-minded individual, you sit there and you take one sentence and you say that's your statement. That's the only thought you can have. You can't have a deeper mind state to have a proper in a proper statement and categorize yourself in a paragraph. No, you must only have one sentence. So because I can only respond with one sentence, you know what I'm saying? I'm not able to complete my whole thought, my whole train of thought. I said Venezuela because that's the first thing you said. So now I'm going to the next thing you said, which is Iran. I was going on to it. I was knocking down everything you said. There's points in your statement that you said have more than one point.
That's
You said
called
we got
projecting, by the way. I was trying to wait for you to finish, but you're going on to a different topic with all of that. What you just said, that's
what
called projecting. When you take was
was the different subject?
the inadequacies about yourself, and then you claim them to be somebody else. That's the definition of projecting. So if you really want to better yourself, go back, watch this video when it's posted, and everything that you just accused me of, work on those things because that's what you're actually guilty of. Everything that you just said about me is true about you, and it's the issue when you're not seeing eye to eyes with somebody. When you get into these arguments with people, the reason that the conversation goes left is because it's everything that you just said is true, but it's true about you. If you were just saying it about me, so you know what I mean, that'd be helpful right there.
So now, right? To digest and to intersect what you said, because you're still not getting to what you said. You're going around the whole subject continuously. And then as soon as I start talking, you cut me off to make another point. Again, that's not what I'm talking about. You're telling me what I'm talking about. All I'm saying is going off of your exact words. So your exact words was multiple wars. I don't want to see us get into multiple wars like Venezuela, Iran, while China's just sitting back. So I was now responding to it. Venezuela was not a war, it was 1 day. Now, Iran, now, no matter what you like about it or you don't like about it now, we've been at war or we had interactions with Iran for multiple years. I don't see nothing wrong with those two statements. Now, moving on to China now, right, which is what I was trying to do before you cut me off, and he started talking about Venezuela, and proving to me that what I was saying was actually correct because that's what was going on. The exact same does this happen. Exactly what I just said is exactly how it was going down. Then you stopped me right there. I was not able to get in on until China. Now, moving to China now, which is the third part of your statement. China, whether you like them or not, are playing the long game, as is Russia is playing the long game. But China has multiple engagements in different areas as well. And just because people feel as though they're sitting there getting their money up, which I'm trying to figure out what exactly getting their money up means when they just came out with a financial statement showing you that their whole finances is fictitious. All right, China's not in a financial strait as you think. They're in dire financial terms right now. They're not doing too good. You know what I'm saying? Now Taiwan is killing them with you froze or
No.
nah, I look like you froze. Nah, I look like you froze for a second. The screen looks crazy. All right, so now Taiwan is killing them with the semiconductors. That's what you see Nvidia. No, not me Nvidia. Oh man, what the hell?
NVIDIA.
Nvidia. That's what you see he was talking about because they're using the chips from Taiwan. So that's a problem that's going on right now is that the chips, it's a chip war, manufacturing war that's going on. And because the US is back in Taiwan, we're able to get access to these semiconductors. So when you say that China's just getting their money up, I mean, you're on the rare earth minerals section of getting their money. Yeah, they have more rare earth minerals than us. But are the minerals that they have the subsequential minerals to build certain type of products that's very important for worldwide manufacturing or worldwide distribution so they can make that type of money. And it's the answer is no. It's Taiwan has the better quality materials and the better know-how, and they're building better quality semiconductors that has more capacity. That's where the AI is getting built from, is all these semiconductors. So that's what the real war is. The real war is the future. It's a future war. We're now getting into a realm of where the United States stopped fighting kinetic wars and we're fighting future wars. We're fighting wars for 50 years now. So now what is going down is global geopolitical maneuvering, hemispheric control. That's what's happening. Hemispheric control. Now, what's going on in the Middle East is that the people who can't fight, Saudi Arabia and Israel, is asking the people who they buy the weapons from to fight and help them. That's what's going on. And the people who they're buying the weapons from was already shot at by the people that you want us to fight. And we already had casualties, multiple, many times, over a 40-year period. That's all I was trying to say. All I was trying to say is that I wouldn't say that it's right or wrong for them to do Iran because none of us can know the specifics behind every single little thing. Plus, China, like I always been saying, is the major threat, is the number one threat for us in the world is China. Because China is actively has military power that can match us to some extent. And they're actively involved in economic and proxy wars with us. Because now you see China is giving Iran missiles, and China had one of their boats go through so they can get their oil. Because Iran is being fed by China and Russia. So we're really at war with China and Russia. We've been at war with these people for years. It's just that now it's more front line for us in the media. Ukraine and now Iran, which is really more backed by China than anything. Why do you think they talk about Cuba now? Because they're like, wait a minute, hold up. We didn't forget about you neither. You still messing with the Russians too. We're having it's World War IV between Russia, China, and the United States. It's just not frontline war where we're actually shooting at each other. We're having people that we know or we sell stuff to shoot at each other. That's what's going on. But people don't want to see it and admit that it's deeper than just what they're seeing. It's only what the media shows you, and that's it. Oh, it's over now after that. Oh, that's what the media shows.
So anyway, the media, they make shit up, they point you in the wrong direction, and they hide shit. So that's what I was saying about China. Their infrastructure over the past, I don't know, 5, 10 years or so has gotten crazy. The way that their roads are, the way their technology is in-house. So they don't ship it out outside the country. They keep all the good stuff within the country. DJI is one of the only countries, good companies in China that does sell outside of the country. But within China, it's not the same China anymore. Like the shit that they have is advanced. They don't share it with the rest of the world. And the media keeps us in the dark about that shit.
Okay, and
Now,
where you feel that way?
huh?
What technology that you've seen in China that's more advanced than what we have here?
No, I'm not saying it's more advanced than what we have here. I'm saying it's a lot more advanced than what they had in the past. They're advancing quickly. Not no way they're past us, but I'm just saying they're coming along.
Okay, so now let's get into this. They're coming along statement because we already know what's really actually happening, and to deceive
What's
the
that?
viewers is the
What's
huh?
actually happening?
I couldn't hear you.
What's actually happening?
Okay, so to get into, like I said, what's actually happening to not deceive the viewers, right? We act as though Europe, right, is not feeding China or the what do you call it? Let's say Bilderberg, WEAF, or WFO, yeah, WFO. You know what I'm saying? They're feeding China. Number one, they gave them the technology. The Clintons also back in the days gave them technology. So the China's been fed technology purposely, not them developing. They've been fed uh, 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 technology purposely so that they could put in a system in place. And then when they put the system in place now, they're gonna see if the system works and use that as a guide to see if we can use it in the rest of the world. And that's all that's going on in China. Not China advancing because of China's own motivations and capabilities to advance. They're given things and items purposely so that they can advance purposely so that somebody can fulfill an agenda. This is what the media is not telling people. Not that,
That's
oh, they're just advanced.
that's
No,
another
that
thing somebody needs to be brought up on charges for.
they're being, well, you'd have to go now to international courts. That's international stuff that's going on. That is the real New World Order. The real New World Order is Bilderberg, is the Trilateral Commission, is the Council on Foreign Relations, the WFO. These organizations are used as a catalyst for people to make international plays. And the international plays they use not all the time benefit, and more time than none do not benefit us, which is why Trump is good with his international policy. It's his domestic policy that I have an issue with. His international policy, I'm 100% okay with. The war in Iran taking too long. Well, the gas prices is what I do not accept, because I do not accept that the United States, with our own oil supply, should be paying high gas prices. That does not
That's the
make sense
part.
at all to me. You understand? That's the only thing that I'm sitting here like, okay, well, I understand that you have to go to war places. Like, all right, we went to Afghanistan. I'm not saying if it was right or wrong. We went to Iraq. I'm not saying if it was right or wrong. But guess what? Our allies fought with us. People came and they fought with us. People are not fighting with us in Iran because they don't understand what the end game is. Neither do I. I really don't understand what the real end game is. And that's my problem with the whole situation. Us fighting somebody, I don't have a problem with going to war. Why do we have a military if we don't want to go to war? Or if we don't go to war? If we don't go to war, that's cool, but we have a military, so if something happens, we can go to war. That's the whole point of having a gun. I have a gun in case something happens. I'm going to shoot somebody. That's the whole concept behind it. I can protect myself. I can be able to project myself as a man. So now, what we have is uh 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 we have a place where the United States is having to choose between showing the world what we've been doing for years, or sitting back and acting like we don't know what this stuff is, and we're not doing it, and as though Russia and China not doing it, and allowing everybody else to catch up to us. So what you're seeing now is the government, the official government's policy is, we don't care. We're going to show you foreign wise what we already been doing. They've been doing these things, and other countries been doing. There's been regime change all over the world. It's not just us doing it. So when people complain and say, "Oh, the United States this, the United States that," first off, you live in the United States and you benefit from the shit. That's just one. You benefit from it and you live in the United States. But where do people complain about other countries doing the same thing that we do?
What do you mean, you
Where
people?
the where are the protests of people saying that or of these females? Look at the girls in Iran, Saudi Arabia. They just allowed people to women to drive like that a couple weeks ago.
Yo, I wonder how bad the insurance went up.
Oh, you think it won't it? You think it wouldn't go up after that? So now you have a whole new class of driver that haven't been driving for all these years. Now all of a sudden they're all allowed to drive, and you think they're not going to be accidents?
Shit, that's on top of the obvious too. Like the chicks, you know. Now the way that you say it, even if it was dudes, there would be accidents.
It's true. It wouldn't matter what the sex is. Is you have a new set of drivers, there's going to be accidents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy you say that though, but yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of that. Their insurance is going to go skyrocket now.
Tell you.
The car market over there is going to skyrocket too. It's going to cost more to buy a car.
Oh, of course. Especially Saudi Arabia is one of those places that got money too. It's not like it's a poor country. If it was a poor country, it wouldn't matter. It would all be sharing one car anyway, but it's not like that.
I mean, that's another thing that I do not understand about the United States, right? I get it, we're a capitalistic society, but there's things that the government owns that they should give dividends back to the people. Every single person that pays taxes should get a dividends check back from the government for certain things that the government itself does that bring in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying now?
Oh, hell yeah.
They try Democrats, and don't get it twisted. I'm not a Republican. I'm not, like, people get this twisted because of my views. The Democrats don't want that. Every time some legislation is put together where people are able to get some sort of incentive back from the government for paying and for being a good person or being a proper citizen, an incentive back from the government, they will stop that. They will block that. They don't want that. They want you to just be somebody who is not active in doing nothing, and they will give you everything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you involved. They want to just pay you so you can vote and shut the fuck up and sit in your corner and not be their competition.
Mm-hmm.
They want everybody to be workers because they want to be the ones that's the boss. They want their friends to have the investments. They don't want you to have investments. That's why it's a culture of anti-business. If you notice, a lot of people, older folks, that are even
competition.
Yeah, it's like people are in competition with their own kids.
No, I said anti-competition. They don't want the competition. They try to squash the competition. They try to manipulate the competition into not being competition.
Right, I agree with you, but I'm saying people are actually in competition with their own kids.
Oh yeah.
That's why the youth are doing what they're doing. That's why we're having so much kids murders, because there's nobody guiding them. No one's showing them how to be a real human being, a real person, a real masculine person. There's no guidance for the youth at all.
That and back to what the original topic, the news is lying to them. So they watch the news and they got these ideas in their head of what the world is like, and it's not even worth living in the world. That's the way that it's painted out to be to these kids.
Yep. And not even just that though. The news is being paid to do this, which is even worse. Paid to do it. It's not like they're doing it because of ideology. I respect somebody that has the ideology. I don't respect the fucking I don't respect the mercenary depending on what they're doing. If you're just physically taking something as a mercenary, I respect that. I don't respect somebody who's mentally or psychologically, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a dirty game. That's all. I respect it, but I look at it differently because it's a dirty game.
Yeah,
You're
man.
playing a
I
psycho.
always said the worst thing you could ever do is lie to somebody because now they're making decisions based off of that bullshit that you fed them. So it's like that's
Like
like the ultimate form of control. You're not
you
forcing them
ever
to do nothing. Instead, they're making a decision to do what you want them to do instead of what's best for them.
you ever seen of or heard of like people's parents would talk about, yo, just work and get a job. I know a few people that's like that. That's working right now. They have a job and they're unhappy because they did what everybody else said to do. And then mind you, the crazier thing is that it's like they know there's options, but they're too scared to take it. And then people will be scared. People like, all right, when I tried to start my when I was talking about I wanted to start my own business and whatnot, like you have people that will give you a negative outlook on that, as though something's wrong with you being an independent person.
Mm-hmm.
I've had somebody walk up to me, see my trucks, somebody in my family, and be like, I just want you to get a job and see me with my own stuff going on and everything. And I just sat there and I thought to myself, like, you're a different type of devil.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But
you
they
literally
think
don't even
they
work
think they mean well. They think that they're looking at it like they want you to have something more secure. They want you to know that,
this
you
episode
know,
sponsored by
but it's like it's crazy to think that way because more secure, it's like, yo, having my own shit, I can retire earlier. That's the best security. Like, you don't want me to be secure when I'm old and I can't work anymore. If I fuck up now, I'm still young enough to make up for it. You rather me wait until I'm old and then fucking fall on my face, right?
not even just that though. It's yeah. Nah, that's it. That's it right there. They want you to fall on your face and then ask for help. And then they're gonna give you the same exact advice that made you fall on your face anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah,
That
you
shit is
go to
crazy.
work for somebody, you make just enough to pay your rent and feed yourself, and then eventually you get to be too old to work anymore, and now you stuck,
Mhm.
you got nothing, you gotta beg, and then they get to be like, you see? Meanwhile,
Told
the
you.
the reason you there is because you did what they said.
Meanwhile, they could have did stuff that put y'all in position because back in the days, houses when they were in their age, houses cost way different. It was way easier to get stuff. Now it's harder to get things.
Mhm.
And back in those days, people will teach you how to do shit. Nowadays, it's like people don't want to teach you nothing. They don't even want to tell you how they got it. What? You want to get what I got? You can't get this. You crazy? And I see it very heavily in the Caribbean community. In the Caribbean community, I see it extremely heavy. Unfortunately, I know a lot of Caribbean viewers are gonna be like, "Yo, what the hell?" But I see it heavy in the Caribbean community. Unfortunately,
You know,
and with the single mother, I know
You
some
know what
single
though?
fathers.
It's also a class thing too, man. No matter where you from, no matter what color, no matter what country, what background,
Nah,
the people that have less means is like that. The people that have means, the people that are wealthy, like, they look out for their family. They keep the money within their family. They like to stop outsiders from getting to the be at their level. People that are broke, they're in competition with everybody that they know and supposedly love.
yo, all right, I can agree with that. What I was gonna say, or what I was gonna add to it was, I was gonna say that usually hmm, you got a good point though, because it's I've noticed that the Asians, they don't do that. Asians and Indians, they don't do that. They're not culturally, they're just not like that. They actually
Mhm.
support. They'll guide you the whole way.
But they
Like
also have a lot of control over their family too. They also have the
that's
respect of their family.
that's true. That's true. And then the respect that they have for their family is the same things that these liberals because they're not real liberals. Thomas Jefferson was a real liberal. The people who claim to be liberals nowadays are progressives. What they're saying, and those people are anti-immigration or anti-immigrant, because the immigrants, the way the immigrant, all right, when certain immigrants or people come from certain countries, their cultural outlook on masculinity is how America used to be. We used to have that same outlook on masculinity. A strong man, very big, you know what I'm saying? You make your muscles, you eat a lot, you know what I'm saying? You take care of your family, and you are respected because you're a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to fix things. You could use your hands to do stuff. Your fingernails are dirty because you put your hands on things and you fix things yourself. You build
Mm-hmm.
stuff. That's not how it is. Now, I've had people look at me like, you're fixing your own car? Like, why would you do that? Like,
Yeah, I
like I'm
can't
get
remember who the quote was, but Alex Jones, I think, is the first is where I heard this, and I know you heard this shit before. Hard times create strong men. Strong
yeah,
men
that's
create easy times. Easy times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
yeah, that's an old saying. That's an old proverb from back in the days. But that is 100% accurate. And it's the media that's doing this because the media is manipulating people's mind state where where people are not human beings anymore. They're almost like cyborgs. They're like aliens invading the it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like an infestation. People are being people are having it's a media parasite that's attacking people and in if and embedding itself into people's brains and psychologically manipulating them like a liver fluke or like the cat what the hell is that cat bacteria shit? You
Oh,
know,
I know what
people
you're
who
talking
own
about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That makes the mice not afraid of them.
right, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a parasite
That's
that they
what's
give
going on.
off of their shit.
Hmm. That's what's going on right now. But it's going on through the news media, just like how they had those studies back in the days where they were showing people images in England, and then the people in Australia would see the same image or see thought. Damn, what the hell was that experiment name? Oh my gosh, this is what happens when I have too much things on other
But
things on my
look,
mind.
I know Trump knows about the Smith-Mundt Act. Like, why has that not been fixed?
Okay, now that's another thing. Now imagine this, right? I'm the executive of a business, and one of my divisions of my business is going rogue, and they're telling me and feeding me things, but the information they're giving me is incorrect. How do I remedy that if I'm too busy to look into what they're telling me? I'm asking you.
Now I get all of that, but I'm saying is the Smith-Mundt Act thing, that was like a known thing before he was even president. Obama did it. I would have imagined that before he even ran for president, he would have known about that just the same way as like the general public knows about it, you know? I
So,
mean the
so,
general in the know public, you know what I mean?
so, all right. So now going back to what I was saying about how the government works and about people's perspective on government activities, you know what I'm saying, and how the ins and outs of the government actually work. How long do you think it would take for him to write up legislation, or how long do you think it would take for someone to write legislation and for it to actually pass? And how how do you think it would be if somebody else that's there would tell him, somebody's Indian intelligence agencies made or influenced by intelligence agencies tells him, oh nah, that's not a problem, sir. The intelligence agencies don't do that, sir.
Well,
Who do you
wasn't that a
believe or who do
direct
you
wasn't
not?
that a executive order? Wasn't that his pen and his phone?
I'm not sure. You'd have to look that up. Not sure about that one.
Yeah, because
Not
that could
sure at
be
all.
easily reversed.
Not necessarily, depending on see how can it easily be reversed then?
A random executive order.
So the executive order is gonna state that, what?
That's what I mean. That wouldn't even. I feel like that's how he did it, and that wouldn't even be valid. You can't just remove a law from the books by executive order. But there was no act of Congress involved. The Smith-Mundt
That,
Act was legit law. You know.
but that's the thing too, though. Now, what exactly? All right, see how people say, "Oh, all right." See what you just said? It's very important because a lot of people, the majority of people, will think just like that, and it's not your fault. It's not the perspective of the public. When you say things like that, you have to go into the ins and outs of who who speaks to the president, who has this knowledge, and who has the capability to write up the legislation. The president himself does not write up legislation. It's lawyers that do all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody tell them, somebody has to explain it to them in legal terminology that makes sense. Or you're gonna have something like what they did with the tariffs, write up the wrong complaint and then get it thrown out because the complaint was written wrong. It's not because it was illegal, it's because it was written in a manner that does not state legally what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the purpose? Like, it's written wrong. That's it. It's just a complaint that's written wrong. And people don't understand logistics of legality. If you really, somebody has been to court before, it's a lot of different things within the legal structure that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just that easy to just be like, oh yeah, just do this. There's a lot of things in between that have to happen too. And there's a lot of people that can
Mm-hmm.
fight it. There's a lot of people that have interest in fighting these things. And then how do you supplement their fight? All I'm saying is it's good, like, it's good to have something to stand for and to stand by and have things that you want to be done. It's who's figuring out the logistics behind how to do it. Yeah, the car's making a sound. Okay, who's figuring out how to fix it? You just want it to be done and fixed, not you per se. I'm just saying in general, the public wants it just to be
Yeah,
fixed.
yeah.
Like they just want to show up to the mechanic and the car is fixed. Instead of looking into how the mechanic fixed it, how he found out what the problem was, and then how do you or where do you fix it as far as getting the parts. So who is the right person? I mean, it's just so much different logistics behind things that we could talk for days about certain shit, and no matter how you look at it, the media is gonna portray certain things a certain way, and people will still believe the media because the media is on TV, and because the media has so much money that they can sit back and they can show you something that you would believe if you put it in a proper production format and make it look professional. I
And
can
the
sit here
media
and
is
talk for
supposed to be for
and
us. They're supposed
it
to be
work.
informing us. They're supposed to be letting us know what kind of fuckery our government is up to. So when they sit there and tell us, that, Trump is up to some fuckery, the people that believe it it's totally understandable why they believe it. Until you found out that our media cannot be trusted, it's totally normal to believe what they're saying. So that's why they're so dangerous.
Well, I was just around somebody who claims to be an intelligent person, and they were mad to see Trump on TV. Period. You know what I'm saying? And that caught me like that doesn't even make sense because your statement is retarded. So that segment, and this really goes to what's going on because this is really what proves the point that we're trying to make about not even just the media but people in general per se. So on the news they showed a quick skit on Trump with Joe Rogan behind him, Marcus Luttrell, you see what I'm saying, behind them, and one or two other soldiers. Now,
Pause.
when the individual walked into the room and they seen me watching the news, I was not watching the actual Fox or something like that. I was watching a random news channel, and that came up when they walked in. The first thing they said was, "Oh, we have to have him on the TV again." It's like every day he's on TV. Yeah, he's the fucking president. He should be on TV every fucking day. Actually, enough. You know what I'm saying? He should be on TV more often and talking more. And the news media needs to not put clips of him talking, put the whole fucking video of him talking out. That's what the news media needs to do.
Yo, but
Because you
why
watch
ain't
him
the
talk
news
live.
media talking about 25th Amendment and talking about he's going senile and all that shit? But then when I actually watch even the clips that they edit and put on TV, I've never once heard him sound anything less than coherent.
Even the podcasters and the YouTubers are talking the same thing. Mind you, I don't see what they're saying. And I'm talking about all of the big names. It's because in order to get views, they have to talk in a certain manner. And that's what I'm starting to realize from all of these podcasters. Even
It sounds
people
like
like Joe
talking
Rogan.
points too, though.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's talking points that's getting put out there by somebody with an agenda. Why would all of a sudden everybody say the same thing at the same time? That's on YouTube, as a podcaster. There's talking points. No one says the same thing. Why all of a sudden now people talk about Iran is so strong? Why wasn't Iran so strong all these years ago? All of a sudden now they have so many missiles and so many, and they're so strong and so powerful, and Iran shut us straight down. How? With
Well,
what
here's the whole
weaponry?
thing, right? All of that means to me, even if that's true, like they shouldn't say that stuff unless it's true, because we have realistically enough nukes to destroy the entire Earth, which obviously you don't want to do that, but we definitely have enough to destroy Iran in one shot, and just wipe them off the planet. So it's like we realistically respond with as much force as we feel we need to respond with based on the strength of the enemy. We don't go full force. So the stronger that they convince us that Iran is, if I'm not wrong, the harder we're gonna have to come down on. So why even say it?
Well, look at how they misinterpret even just Trump's words. Which, I mean, yeah, he might have they took it out of context without a doubt. But I mean, the way he said it obviously was not helpful neither. You know what I'm saying? But me saying something like I'm gonna take out the whole civilization. Yeah, if I knock out all your lights and all your water and all your bridges, you're not a civilization anymore in modern terminology.
And even if he meant killing every living being on the whole fucking country, it's like, they know Trump by now. They know that
The art
he
of the deal
exaggerates in
on
such a
purpose. It's the
way
art.
that, like, it's not a lying exaggeration. It's like a rap song where the exaggeration is so exaggerated that it's being said for effect. It's not meant to be taken literally.
Well, you have to understand. Oh yeah, also sponsored by 7-Eleven, that I think has the best coffee in my opinion. Sorry, Dunkin' Donuts.
We're
Prove me
not
wrong.
actually sponsored, but we're more than willing, 7-Eleven. So we'll say, oh, thank heaven for the royalty check if you want to throw us something.
We will talk about you every episode and all the flavors that you have. But yeah, so for me, I just look at it like I can't even trust the people who I watch because I don't know their real financial problems and situations, and I don't know what's really going on with them. And there's so much
Mm-hmm.
things going on with the agencies behind the scenes that nothing that you see after that Smith and Mundy act was nothing you seeing on any media, period. And I mean, period. YouTube, Instagram, social media, mainstream media, ABC, NBC, TNT, CNN, MS Now, Bloomberg, you know what I'm saying? All of these things are all manipulated. Newsmax, News Nation, Fox News. The only thing that I think is proper is probably Fox Business, and that's only because they talk business, and Bloomberg when they talk business. Other than that, if they don't talk about business,
Or,
they're
or
all
or the local stations, like the local, like
talking about
Fox 5,
traffic.
10 o'clock news.
Yeah, talking about like traffic and shit like that. Other than that, all their reporting is tainted.
Uh-huh.
Even the local news, when they talk about politics, they're tainted. When it's a national story, they're tainted. It's all talking points, and the
Mm-hmm.
anchors are getting told what to say.
Yeah, but I'm saying is you hardly ever hear anything like that on there. They just strictly the facts. They don't bother with the politics usually.
True. Fox 5, local NY, Fox 5, New York City, is the most accurate news, period. Period. They only go facts, and that's a fact. That's true. That's true. But
And
what's the
that's
face in the
part of the reason why I grew up trusting the news, because that's what I would watch. I would watch the 10 o'clock news, the Fox 5 10 o'clock news, and that was pretty much it. That's all I would watch. That would be my only source of news when I was a kid, like really young. But either way, now as you get older, you would expect all of them to be just as factual, but fuck no.
none of them. None of them are to be trusted.
And you know
No
what?
news.
It's fucked up, but the
Crazy.
only good thing about having two so extremely polarized sides is that you can watch both. Like you can watch CNN and Fox News, and now you can pick from what you heard from these people, what you heard from these people. You see what overlaps, and that's true if both sides
Yeah,
agreed on it.
yeah,
And then you
yeah.
make sense out of everything
You,
else.
you can throw the bullshit and find the facts when you see both sides talking. You'll catch, oh, okay, I see. So he's a little exaggerated on this particular point, and then he's a little exaggerated on the next particular point. But this is where it really is probably the truth. Now, that's a fact.
Yeah, the
I have noticed
overlap.
that.
That's what you gotta look for, is the
Yeah.
overlap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I
how fucked
definitely.
up is that? I mean, in a way, it's good because it teaches people critical thinking and the way your brain works. The less you use it for a certain task, the less ability you have to perform that task. So in a way, that's good for society. The fact that you have to do all of that work just to discern what's true on the news, which should be everything they say. But at the same time, not everybody does that. Not everybody is aware that they have to do that. And those people tend to be the loudest voices with the strongest opinions, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So it's like, even if most people don't want something, they'll fucking pass a law just to shut somebody up.
Well, you got to understand that it's really all about big business. Right now in the world, the way the world works is international corporations run the world. There is no new world order anymore, or oligarchy order where it's like
Well, that is the New
financial.
World Order.
I'm sorry.
That is the New World Order.
No, what I was saying was there's no new world order. It's like royal family type of, like they're the only ones. No, it's about people with money now.
No, I
Like
know,
anybody,
but I'm saying, think
new,
about what
old,
those words
yeah,
mean. New World Order. Those international corporations are the New World Order, the new
yeah.
order
That's
of
what
the
I'm saying.
world.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying is that they replaced the old order. So now the old order is mixed in with the new order. So now it's a mixture of the old order that standard and that stood the test of times, and then the new order. Because there's old orders that's like let's say secret societies that, yes, they're still relevant or they're still there, but they're not powerful. You understand? And then there's financial institutions that where people came together and got power because they came together and they have power together. And then there's international businesses or tech companies that just have so much power because they have so much money. Their money's just so infinite, it doesn't matter. If you're making $1 mil, $2 mil a day, I mean, like, that's just you're that. Once you pass 100,000 a day, that's when you're in a different level. You know what I'm saying? That's a different level. That's how you get
A
the Bill Gates.
day.
They a day type of deal. Like that's him himself, not Microsoft. That's him. Yeah, that's a different level. You're at a different level. 100,000 a day, you're at a different. 100,000 a week, you're at a different level. Bill Gates was only one guy. He's not even making the most. You know what I'm saying? They got the Saudis. They got
Oh yeah,
Bezos. You
yeah. The
got
people that are making the most, nobody knows.
Yeah, you don't even know how those numbers. Those numbers are. You don't even want to hear those numbers. It'll make you feel like nothing.
No, but I'm saying
Like,
on
wait.
top of that, nobody knows their names or their faces.
Oh yeah, of course, because
Like the people that
their
have the
last name.
real money, they're hidden.
Yes and no. I mean, you can find out, just that we're not privy to it because we're not in those circles as far as the financial nodes.
No.
They're
I'm not saying witness protection hit. I'm not saying you couldn't do some digging and find out. I'm saying is Bill Gates, he's thrown in your face. Jeff Bezos is thrown in your face. The people that have the real money, no one's throwing those people's business in your face like that.
That's what I was said. I said if you're not in the real circle, you're not gonna get it. You gotta be in the financial circles.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find if you're in them financial circles, they know who's who. And they know who's making the money because they follow money moves. That's how everybody makes money, is by following the people who have the real money and seeing what they're investing in, and then they follow the, you know what I'm saying? They follow their strategies. That's why people watch what Warren Buffett does and then follow his strategy. That's why you get hedge funds and shit like that. But people say, okay, you're a very good manager of money. I'm gonna give you my money now and let you just do it. It's all because
Facts.
they already talked to governments, they already know the regulation, they know when the laws are getting passed, so they know what to invest in and when to invest into it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Notice that Congress, it's not illegal for them to do insider trading. Like, how messed up is that?
no,
They're
fuck that,
exempt
fuck
from the insider
that, fuck that,
trading laws.
fuck that, fuck that. How about they tried to pass the law not too long ago and they all voted against it?
Yeah. I heard about that shit.
Yeah, they all that's recently. That's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. That's very recent.
Uh-huh.
They all like, nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
After Pelosi, remember at the State of the Union, he's like, oh, look at Pelosi, let's pass the act, the act, da 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 da. That was just State of the Union. They didn't pass the act. They voted it down.
Mm.
That was just union. So that was just in the news. And you see how it's not in the news anymore? That's purposely.
Yep.
Trump
Fucking retarded.
internationally is good.
And then the other thing is too, this is what I was thinking about earlier. Check this out, right? So people have no attention span anymore. All of this screen time, all the technology, all the swiping and everything, like it's been an attack on people's attention span. And you know what? Yo, this is I'm sure this had to be part of the reason. If not, it's a hell of a coincidence that now they could put a news story out. It could be the most sensational, most fucked up story, and then that's it. The next day they don't got to talk about it anymore, and everybody forgot already.
Or how about they could lie and know they lied and not redact their story, even though they know they lied, and it comes out later that they lied.
Uh-huh.
A lot of news organizations have been getting criticized.
Anyway.
A lot of news organizations have been getting criticized because they're coming out with false information that's now shown to be false, and they're not redacting it and coming out with the story properly, redacting it, like broadcasting. No, they'll redact it like online, like on their online websites.
Bro,
they'll say story from such and such date was redacted due to new information updated, and they'll do it like that instead of saying that they reported the news wrong. Because that's what really happened, is that they reported the news wrong.
How about this? Do you remember that fucking shooting range in Kentucky that they were shooting the machine guns at the fucking explosives? Like, you know, for that, you know, they have like one day a year where they do that and they make a big show out of it. And ABC News cropped the video so you couldn't see all the people standing there with their phones recording the shit, and said it was footage of what was going on in Syria because Trump pulled out the troops.
ABC World News Tonight did something they now regret, dropping them firmly into the sights of the Trump administration, which can now point to the network as peddling fake news.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town.
The video obtained by ABC News appears to show the fury of the Turkish attack on the border town of Tal Abyad 2 nights ago.
Almost immediately, the website Gizmodo reported that Twitter users were comparing the ABC video to YouTube video from a Kentucky gun range. The ABC video also appeared to have been altered. ABC issued a statement saying, "We've taken down video that aired on World News Tonight Sunday and Good Morning America this morning that appeared to be from the Syrian border immediately after questions were raised about its accuracy." ABC News regrets the error.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that one, but stuff like that is just disgusting. These are the things that I think we need to make a whole episode on it and actually like pull up stories, 20 major stories that affect history that were reported wrong by mainstream media, at least 5 different mainstream
Yes.
media organizations, and we can show that they never redacted it. I used to literally, every time I see something, a news article, I'll go into that website, I look at it, and I screenshot it. Like, oh, look, got it. Bing. Look at it. Look at them lying about Comey and the emails. Bing. Look at them lying about Uranium One. Bing. Look at them. So let's go. Comey the emails, Uranium One, Ukraine, Russia Gate, right? The Syrian chemical attacks. Remember that? The Syria? When they did the chemical attacks, but it was talking about it was the Syrians, but it was ISIS. Remember that? Oh no, talk about
Yep.
it was the ISIS, but it was the Syrians or some shit like that. I think it was ISIS. No, it was ISIS that did it, and they said it was the
Yeah, they were
Syrians.
saying it was Assad, but it was ISIS.
Right, it was ISIS that did the chemical attack, and that was during
Yeah, they were
Obama's
blaming
administration.
Assad.
Obama's red line. So that right there is 4 or 5
Yep.
different lines they lied about already. Now let's not even get into the Gulf of Tonkin, right? Let's not get into. We're not going to go into Kennedy. Let's leave Kennedy alone. Gulf of Tonkin, all right.
Pause.
Let's go with the
Nah,
What?
that was just being stupid. He said, we're not even gonna go into Kennedy. I call pause.
So let me see. Yeah. Oh, how about the Charlie Kirk one, which is the most recent, where these motherfuckers go back as a lone shooter, and then the bullet don't match the fucking gun. I mean, that's very, 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 very bad. Very bad. That's a nasty look.
Yeah, we're gonna
No,
put them
for
all
real. That's a
together.
nasty look. That's a nasty look when we went and said that this is the only thing that's going on. The reports come out that Tulsi Gabbard has other information that's a foreign power that helped, right? Or had influence or was involved in the scenario, right? No matter if they gave the guy money or they did whatever, who the fuck knows what they did? All is known is that it needs to be investigated. Kashki Patel kills the investigation and says it's only this guy. And then in court, the guy's like, well, then show me the bullet. So he's like, we got the bullet right here. He's like, okay, so what round is that? Oh, it's a such round. Oh, well, that's not the gun I had. That killed the case. The case is over. He's not the shooter. So if he's not the shooter, what charges you got him on?
And what caliber round did they have?
I don't know, but it wasn't the round he had.
All right, peoples. Let us know in the comments. You believe the media or nah? And if nah, what is your favorite hoax? White privilege? The patriarchy? Gas prices? Let us know in the comments, people. Thank you for joining us once again on the Unc Podcast. We will catch you next Sunday.